Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another episode of Call of Duty Zombies Myth-Busting Mondays. And today's video for the final myth, we are going to be seeing if whether or not that you can kill George Romero in Call of the Dead in 1 minute or less. 60 seconds. Is that enough, my friends, to kill the man, the myth, the legend, George Romero? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to testing it at the end of the video. And if you guys have a myth of your very own that you would like to have be featured in next week's episode, please put them here in the comment section down below. Or if you want to, you can also put them in my Discord server, which is going to be linked down below in this video's description. And by the way, guys, before we begin with today's video, I just want to give a quick thank you to everybody that wished me happy birthday. My birthday was 2 days ago as of the publishing of this video on October the 28th, and even though it's a little bit late, I still wanted to say thank you in some capacity. So thank you to every single one of you guys that said something. It means the world to me. I am forever in your debt. With all that being said, guys, let's get on with this week's episode of Call of Duty Zombies Myth-Busting Mondays. Myth: is there a secret hidden VMP wall buy in Shadows of Evil? Alrighty guys, so Myth 1 is going to be submitted in by the Myth-Busting team. Now, on Shadows of Evil, supposedly there is a hidden VMP wall buy that got scrapped. Now, this is going to be available in a certain section of the map right here at this specific wall, and it's kind of hard to see just due to the fact that I really couldn't get the right angle, and you're really not supposed to be here in the first place. But in a second here, you will see there is a VMP chalk outline that you can grab and pick up. This is the best angle I was able to get where you can see the damn thing. It's right there. Now, if you do eventually get the hit scan for it, you can purchase the VMP off of this wall buy and be able to use it. I am assuming that Treyarch just wanted to have a wall buy stationed at pretty much every single one of the areas within Shadows of Evil, and then it became overkill and they decided to just hide it behind a texture. So that means that myth number 1 is confirmed, and now we can move on to myth number 2. Myth: can you use the battery part for the electric trap on transit on the Pack-a-Punch buildable in town? Alrighty guys, both Myth 2 and the footage in the background are both going to be provided by Tyler. Now, for this myth to take place, what we need to do is we need to get the battery that is from the power station specifically, which is for the electric trap, and then we need to bring it all the way over to the Pack-a-Punch buildable in the bottom part of the bank. Both the electric trap and the Pack-a-Punch on transit require a battery for one of its buildable parts. Now, the interesting thing is that the battery for the Pack-a-Punch machine and the electric trap are basically identical. They even look very similar when you have them in your inventory. So supposedly, the way that the myth works is that you can substitute the battery from the electric trap and use it in the Pack-a-Punch machine. There's no necessarily gain to this because all the Pack-a-Punch parts are underneath of the bank and the electric trap parts are all at the power station, so this is kind of something that you have to go out of your way to do, but it is interesting nonetheless. Now, another interesting thing about this myth is that doing more research online, apparently, supposedly, that the battery for the electric trap, even though it can be used for the Pack-a-Punch, it does not work in reverse. You can't use the Pack-a-Punch battery to build the electric trap. Now, if that's going to be the case, then I would say that this is probably because this is a glitch from Treyarch's end, and this is probably an oversight that they forgot to patch out. So Tyler's about to finish building the Pack-a-Punch machine right now, with the electric trap battery, mind you, and then he's going to see with the money he got from the bank if he can Pack-a-Punch his M1911. If this works, the myth is confirmed. If it does not, the myth is busted. And it looks like to me the Pack-a-Punch works just fine. It Pack-a-Punched the M1911, and you can see from his inventory, even though it's very hard to tell, Tyler's character has the original Pack-a-Punch battery inside of his inventory. So this means that myth number 2 is confirmed. You can build the Pack-a-Punch on transit if you want to with the battery from the electric trap, even though this doesn't give you any sort of gain whatsoever. Myth: if the whole squad is down and the one player with a self-revive gobblegum bleeds out, will it soft lock BO3? Alrighty guys, myth number 3 is going to be submitted in by SandNudes, funny name by the way, dude, and we're going to be seeing whether or not that if I'm running something like, let's say, self-med, if I end up bleeding out instead of reviving myself by killing a zombie with a ray gun, what will happen? Will the game end up glitching and freezing? Will Tyler and I both die and the game will end? Or will one of us somehow miraculously be revived and the game will continue on? Alright, so any second now I'm about to bleed out and see if whether or not that the game will soft lock. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think is going to happen. And here I am about to die. and the game ends, which means myth 3 is busted. The game does not soft lock, it will just say that you have failed. So this is basically going to make it so that way if the person, for whatever reason, doesn't end up killing a zombie during their entire self-medication, the game will just end up ending as if you normally died. Myth: can you kill Leroy in Buried? Alrighty guys, myth number 4 is going to be submitted in by Nitwit. Now all you really need to do, I assume, for this strategy to work, is to take Leroy to a place that I know anybody can die, which is near the Pack-a-Punch. So I have brought Leroy all the way to Pack-a-Punch, and I'm about to give him booze and see if whether or not I can get him to charge into the very bottom of this crater, right where I can end up tripping and falling myself. So I'm going to give him the alcohol now and see if Leroy will do his thing. So Leroy's going to charge, and it looks like he does indeed fall at the bottom of the well, which is kind of funny. In fact, just to prove a point, I very easily fell in myself, just trying to see him do it. So yeah, you very easily can fall in here and kill yourself, so why not Leroy? Which means that myth 4 is confirmed. You can do this if you really want to screw up with your teammates and end up getting the game to be basically soft-locked. Alrighty guys, and now it is time for the final myth of the episode, and once again it is going to be, can you kill George Romero in Call of the Dead in 1 minute or less? And I want to remind you guys really quickly here before we start this, that George Romero has 250,000 health per player, which means that just in single player, this is going to be a bitch to do. So I've got a couple ideas up my sleeve, and I'm going to see if whether or not any of these ideas will be able to kill George within 1 minute or less. So let's hop to Call of the Dead and see what we can do. Myth: can you kill George Romero in 1 minute or less in Call of the Dead? Alrighty guys, here is the final myth of the episode. So I'm loaded up in here in Call of the Dead, and I have a upgraded FAMAS and a upgraded Dragunov within my inventory. The FAMAS is for fire rate, the Dragunov is for damage, because these are basically the two best guns statistically for doing damage to George. And the second here, I'm going to have a timer on the screen, and I'm going to shoot George to see if I can kill him in 1 minute or less. So here we go, I'm going to shoot George now. The timer has officially started. Now I'm mostly going for headshots because these do indeed do more damage to George Romero. Now I know that I could use double tap, but double tap in Black Ops 1 did not increase your damage. All it did was increase your fire rate. But now that I think about it, it would be kind of useful because then I would get more damage out technically, but it's too late for that now. So I'm just going to keep shooting at George Romero and see if hopefully this is enough. Now, keep in mind, once again, I want to say a second time here, George has 250,000 health for every player in the lobby. So I gotta be quick if I want to kill George in less than a minute here. Now, I'm switching over to the Dragunov already because I'm ready to have ammo for the FAMAS. I can't even imagine how hard this would be if I did not have God mode on, but it looks like I did indeed kill George Romero. With I think in total 18 seconds to spare, I think it was around 42 seconds by the time I finally got him to take a knee, which is technically when he's considered dead in the game because that's when he stops attacking you. But at the end of the day, the final myth is confirmed. You can kill George Romero in Call of the Dead in 1 minute or less if you were to play your cards absolutely perfectly. But keep in mind is that I had God mode on and life doesn't go perfectly, so I doubt you'd be able to do this IRL, but I encourage you to try to step up to the plate if you are feeling in the mood for a challenge. Well, my friends, that is the end of today's video, and I do truly hope you guys end up enjoying this week's episode of Myth-Busting Mondays. It was a lot of fun. If you guys end up having a myth of your very own that you would like to have be featured in next week's episode, please, by all means, put them here in the comments section down below. Or if you also want to, you can put them within my Discord server, which is once again going to be linked down below in this video's description. Once again, thank you to everybody that ended up wishing me happy birthday. I am forever grateful. You guys are awesome. And I hope you guys end up enjoying seeing another YouTube video from the most unique YouTubers we're ever going to see. Thanks for watching, guys. I love all of you, and peace out.
Hey meme lords, Jesus here, and you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too, and give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!